Yeah, this is really a difficult process. I mean, the key really, I'm finding, I was trying it with 8 strings at a time. I was getting so many tangles, it was just slowing me down. The key is to time the tack period of the super glue, so it gets really sticky for a certain period of time, and then it starts to get hard really fast. Like in about 10 seconds, it gets pretty hard and loses its stickiness. So you always got to be thinking several steps ahead, and you got to like span out your applications of the glue. I'm actually going faster right now than I ever have, and I've already been doing this for over 100 hours. Not in a row, but I think I finally am starting to get it down. And also, I think using my fingers to apply the string is faster than using my X-Acto knife, because I have more feel that way too. Yeah, you're just seeing this one part. That's for all the bones combined, which aren't laid out in front of me right now. Yeah, it is happening in front of you, I believe, but I mean, you can be a skeptic. I definitely have people in my life that don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I mean, they think I'm going to fail, in other words, but I really have confidence that I'm going to succeed in this project. But I'm not delusional that it's going to take many years. Like, you're not going to see this done a month from now. And for it to be really awesome, it probably will need multiple versions. Like, I might have to make upgrades and redo certain things. It's going to be a process, but a very rewarding one. Well, I want it to be hard. In fact, I'm making the robot look just like me, and if I'm successful, I would want people to sometimes get it mixed up, like think I'm the robot and the robot's me, or something like that. Or like, if they walk into the room and they see the back of it, they'll think it's me, but then I'm actually not there. And then it speaks with my same voice that I recorded. And so, yeah, people will really think it's me so they get a closer look. I think will be hilarious when people get confused at times. And it will creep them out too, like that they actually thought a robot was me. And when they realize it's the robot that they've been talking to, it's going to be a little bit disturbing when they realize that, whoa, this was a robot I was talking to. I'm in the room alone with myself talking to myself. Yeah, it's a bone from the arm. Yep. Yeah, I'm not an expert on human anatomy either. I just had to look at pictures for a long time very carefully. Make this look just like the bone. Basically just making measurements with my eyes. But I'm definitely getting to learn a lot about anatomy through this project as I go along. I'm like constantly having to look up anatomy stuff. My favorite part, honestly, I haven't really enjoyed any part of it. This is kind of like tedious torture in a way, but what I've learned is just it's not about necessarily every single part of a project being fun to literally do. It's about getting to see like, oh, this bone is done and it looks amazing, and I'm so excited. It's another step forward to achieving the goal. I love seeing progress. That's like what drives me, getting to see results and imagine the possibilities and talk about it with friends and family. So, like right now, I've been doing this for the past like 9 hours on this, well, this bone and a bunch of other stuff with other bones. And my arms like are really hurting me right now. And pretty hot. I want to take a shower, I want to go to bed, but I'm just fighting through it because I just want to get this bone done today. So yeah, it's not enjoyable all the time. Yeah, I know. I have imagined that. Well, 30 minutes would be a long time for a robot to convince someone, like, without screwing up, but if the person's, for example, just venting, just talking and talking, and the robot's just being quiet, they'll just assume it's me listening well. And that could actually work. But if they're asking the robot questions and things, they'd probably find out pretty quickly, oh, this is not Gary, this is the robot. So that kind of scenario happening is part of why I'm so excited for this project. Just there's so many funny possibilities of things that can go wrong, people getting confused. I can imagine elderly people being extra confused because they don't have the best eyesight, and so I mean I bet the robot could really fool them for a while. Like my grandpa, he'd not know if it's me or the robot, and it'd be hilarious. He would probably spend a whole day with the robot without realizing it's a robot. Honestly, people I think associate robots with either homicidal maniac machines or sexual objects, like sexual toys. So that's why I was like, anything I make, people are gonna think like, oh, that's his girlfriend. So I was like, you know what? The only thing I can make that's human looking that people wouldn't think anything sexual is going on is if it's actually myself. Like nobody's attracted to themselves. Everybody's kind of repulsed by that. Like nobody would be attracted to themselves. So having a robot that looks just like me kind of solves that aspect of people kind of assuming that I'm a sexual deviant with my robot all the time alone with it. Can't be having any of that. Well, actually, there's definitely a lot of physics that are going to be involved in this robotics project. I mean, tons and tons of physics. Like even for coding, like momentum and gravity and how it can have balance while walking and running. If I get it to run, which I plan to do. I think a running robot is like a must. Because it looks so cool. I want mine to run like a human though, not like Asimo. Like all choppy and weird with bent knees. I don't like that stuff. I want mine to have like normal straight legs and look natural, like a normal person walking. I think having that bent knee walk that a lot of robots have, like that Neo robot, actually all the Japanese robots have that bent knee walk, and it just looks terrible. Like straighten your legs, robot. Stop having your knees bent. Stop squatting while you walk. It just annoys the heck out of me when I watch those videos on YouTube. This bone took me way too long. None of you guys saw it all, but I've been wrapping this stupid string around this thing for like, I want to say like 12 hours. I've had a lot of problems with it. But I'm nearing the finish line, finally. And I've learned a lot. I think each bone I make, I'll get faster. I've been experimenting with different techniques and trial and error. Plus my fingers just kind of memorize what to do, which is why I'm able to talk while working now, because it's becoming less and less like a mental exercise and more just my hands going through the motions. It's tough to say because I don't like work on the bone non-stop. I gotta put together like all the pieces. Let's see. There's the sculpting, the research, the fitting of this bone with all the bones that attach to it, such as the wrist and the elbow. That all has to be taken into account before I start doing this part, because this part takes so long. I really have to know I got it right. I think like 13 hours on this bone. And that's not how long it should take. I just was experimenting with a lot of stuff that didn't work out in hopes of trying to find faster ways to sculpt. And this, like, with these strings. I was trying to use 8 strings at once and they were getting tangled up. That was my problem. But I just stuck with it for almost the entire bone. And it really held me back. I've gotten a lot faster since I stopped that technique. And I'm using my hands more. I was just using the X-Acto knife for everything. Now I'm using my thumbs as a tool to press the string in. And that added feel and touch is really helping with speed. Well, I'm just creating the forearm bones and the finger bones. Right now I have like a whole bunch of finger bones done. Well, mainly the thumb and the wrist. There's actually a lot of bones in the wrist. You would be amazed if you look it up. There's like, I think 8 bones in the wrist. So I'm sculpting all those little bones, coating them in epoxy, getting them all prepped. I'm getting these all prepped so that I'll have a place to put the motors and mount everything. I mean, you can't, for example, have a hand that grasps without a forearm. Imagine if you cut off your hand, like, where's the motors going to be? So the motors are going to be mounted in the bicep area and the forearm area. And so I have to create these larger forearm bones before I can start working on getting the motors all connected and start testing with grasping and stuff like that. So that's what's so exciting, is I'll get to start messing with that stuff as soon as I get the bones all done. I also get to mess with my artificial ligaments which I'm planning to make out of spandex material.